To set the pace for today, we have a special fireside chat between Dr. Rajaa and Mr. Sorabjee. Mr. Sorabjee will begin the conversation by giving us his perspective to the future powertrain technologies in India. Over to you, Mr. Sorabjee.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here for what is actually the first of its kind conclave. It goes beyond a single technology. It goes beyond EVs. It's all about every possible powertrain technology that is going to be with us in a long road towards a transition of EVs as we expect. And I'm really thrilled to be here in Chennai. And why Chennai? I think this is really the auto capital of the auto industry. It's got a capacity of 10 million units. And we have partnered with the Tamil Nadu government before, and with the Honorable Minister, Dr. Rajaa. I think we did an EV conclave. But then we were chatting, and in the discussion, we thought, that is there something we should be doing beyond EVs, looking at the world where the world is going. And clearly, I think, that's where the genesis was. And, sir, I think, just looking at the way the automotive industry is panning out in this transition, globally also we've seen that, there are been a lot of, how do I say, a lot of turbulence of late globally. And I think in India, we've had a smooth run so far. But clearly going forward, I think, whilst we said the EV is going to be the future, the transition is going to be quite long. And that's why looking at other powertrains, which actually no other conclave has done.
Morning, good morning, Hormazd, and thanks for having me here today. A very good morning to my secretary who's here, my entire team from guidance, ma'am from the Planning Commission, without whom this wouldn't have happened. I must thank Thiru Jayaranjana Avargal, the Vice Chairman, who's also been pushing for this. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. It's really a pleasure to be with you today. Myself and Hormazd, we were talking about this some time back, and we really wanted to take the EV story forward. But then I realized, I'm sure you also remember the conversation we had in Renault.
That's right.
2 years back, in 23. And that's when you actually said Europe is going to go full EV by 2030. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. And the events of the last 2 years and the flatlining of the EV story, and then sort of the crawling back that we see right now, and the geopolitical issues that you're seeing, especially over the past 6 months, everyone knows what I'm talking about. So this has made us rethink. Tamil Nadu today is the auto capital of India. It's when I say auto capital, we are truly the leaders by a big margin. Over 40% of all auto components parts made in India are made in Tamil Nadu. So when a manufacturing super powerhouse like Tamil Nadu looks at the market, we really look at the global scenario and make sure that our manufacturers are given the best possible outcome from government policy. So as a very responsible government and a government which is heading the auto capital of India, I think we should have our eyes on the horizon, looking at what's coming up, looking at the trends globally. And that said, all of us know that the EV story globally had slowed down. I think it's sort of picking up right now. But I really truly believe, I had given Hormazd the date of 2035, if I remember, 2035 or so.
That's right.
For conversion in at least in Tamil Nadu. I think we can still hold on to that dream in a way, because India still hasn't come up with a really good solution to push for EVs. We started off well, and I think we're just still thinking if it's going to work. And I think we still haven't figured the way forward for the outcome from EV revolution. I mean, how to dispose of batteries and how we're going to look at the raw material coming in for manufacturing. So I think we still haven't figured that out, and that's why we wanted to do something which comes together for powertrains, for this conference also. We still want to have one one eye on ICE and one eye on EVs. But that said, Tamil Nadu has always had its expertise both in manufacturing and in software. So I think we're perfectly poised.
No, right. I think, in fact, the way India is poised, we could be last man standing in ICE, just the structure of our market, infrastructure that is required for EVs. I think, let's say governments and states have done their fair bit. So, Dr. Rajaa, just want to, before we get on to the other part, just wanted to touch upon, from a state perspective, promotion of EVs. Obviously, there are sometimes benefits on road tax and things like that. But how does that work? Because do you think we should reach a certain level of penetration before we kind of relook at subsidies for EVs, or do you think we should just be a little bit more powertrain agnostic in that sense?
I think the customer, the market takes care of things more than what we decide at sitting at the foot. I mean, market also takes care of it. So the customer knows best, and when he decides to go into EVs, I think there's no stopping them. And I think then we have to come up with measures to make sure that fiscal demands are in place, all the economic issues are sorted, and we keep our coffers filled and make sure that the customer is happy too. And I think it's a very, very tricky line, and it has to be
it's a balance.
It's a balance. It's a balance, and it needs to be handled very carefully. And I think it's coming. It's coming for sure.
Right, so that's interesting. So what you're saying is a good balance between keeping consumer demand going, because let's face it, EVs are still expensive, so they do need fiscal support, but at the same time, revenue is an important factor for all states, so I guess it's balancing it out over there, right? So, just turning, sir, to Tamil Nadu, it's really been the hub of the auto industry, and, just to, I just wanted your sense, what is it that is attracting so many OEMs and suppliers to the state?
Oh, basically, it's the legacy of the state. It's a huge, rich legacy that we have. Amazing component manufacturers who are really the best in the game. Look at the names from Tamil Nadu here. We have Sundaram Clayton, Lucas TVS. I mean, I can just go on. And these guys are some of the best in the world. And they can give you the best of competence for the best of the manufacturers. So I think the OEMs feel very, very happy in a state where the component ecosystem is very, very rich and diverse and competitive. The MSME sector, which is balancing that out for the component manufacturers, is also rich and diverse, and and the expertise is really good. Look at the stuff that we roll out from Ambattur, from Coimbatore. I mean, these are things that no other state can match. This has taken us decades to build on, and I think right now Tamil Nadu has the expertise, the talent, and that's why people here look at Hyundai. I mean, I think 70% of they're at 70% localization. So this is the story of Tamil Nadu, and I think every OEM knows that when he comes into Tamil Nadu, his supply chain is safe.
And, one thing I would like to add, actually, so if I may, is I think what I would also like to talk about with my experiences is the people. I think there's a certain passion over here for, automotive and engineering. And just a little known fact, I think not many people know that out of the 4 race circuits in India, 3 of them are in Tamil Nadu, and 2 of them are in Coimbatore. Can you imagine that? So I think really, Tamil Nadu has been the cradle of motorsport, and motorsport fosters innovation, competitive spirit, and, a certain passion which the people have. I mean, I can see Arun Murugappan in the audience there. We used to race at Sriperumbudur, so, there, and I think for me, Velu-san also has been one of these absolutely, passionate guys. So I think, honestly, I would also say it's the people who how do I say, have an automotive bent and, enjoy technology, enjoy basically cars.
I mean, I think Tamil Nadu is synonymous with racing and the auto history that we have. It's got to do everything with the industry itself. So when you're into manufacturing, you can do things here. You can tweak your car, and I think the amazing names from Coimbatore and Chennai. I don't want to just name one and leave the rest. So brilliant dreams, up to F1 drivers.
Yeah, Naren Karthikeyan.
Naren is, yeah. So, and look at the track that he's built in Coimbatore. I don't know how many, I don't know, many of them don't even know that there's a track
right.
of that stature in Coimbatore. I was also part of that story there. So it was something which we're really, really happy about. And you do know that Chennai just recently hosted the Formula 4, thanks to our Deputy Chief Minister through Udayanidhi Stalin. So when you have really good motorheads in the state, it's fun to have people who are really interested in what's happening in the motoring world, and to have an ecosystem to balance that. And I think that's why you get racing cars, race drivers, circuits, and manufacturing all put together.
Right, and you know, I think also, apart from the OEMs, you have an absolutely fantastic supplier base over here, which really attracts a lot of investment, I'm sure. It's a very well-developed supplier base, great workforce. So I just wanted to get your thoughts, you know, how does it kind of support or grow the overall ecosystem?
The components are key, right? I mean, I think supply chain safety, you're happy with getting anything. If there is a disruption, just like what happened in COVID, I think many of them could find a component manufacturer here locally who could actually tweak and get that part made. So I think Tamil Nadu, because of its innate strength in manufacturing and MSME strength, we are building on that growth story of the automobile industry. Industry is also changing. We've been from the lathes to right now, I think more than lathes, we need coding. So I think from lathes to coding, Tamil Nadu has been number one. So from the lathes of Kovai or Ambattur, to Taramani's coding, it's all the automobile story. Yeah.
Right, and I think even R&D, there's a lot of R&D bases set up here. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, just your thoughts on, R&D obviously playing a huge role in the development of the auto industry. And I think that's really, really the core of it, quite frankly. And I'm sure, you know, that's something which
Tamil.
Yeah.
So Tamil Nadu is going beyond the manufacturing story, and I think our strengths in the talent lies in the talent that we have. And I think R&D is the right way to go forward, and that's why I keep celebrating people like Velona here doing an amazing job at Mahindra. So when you look at Mahindra Research Valley and look at the talent that's there available inside Mahindra, you will see that almost 70% of them are from Tamil Nadu itself. And they're doing amazing research inside in that infra there. So why do myself and our Chief Minister keep celebrating Mahindra? People say, why are you being so biased to Mahindra? Mahindra is not manufacturing here. Not yet. I think someday down the line, maybe. So
always pushing.
Always a pitch on stage. So and Tata Motors, I mean, the commercial vehicles head is also here. Not yet, but maybe soon. So, you know, these pitches we keep making, but I really think that R&D is the way forward for Tamil Nadu in all the sectors, not just in auto. When we're doing it in all sectors, when I want to do it in all sectors, look at electronics today. We just breached the 12 billion mark. I told them that last year we were at 9.56 billion. This year, right now, today, in Feb numbers, we are at 12.6 billion, the largest in India. I mean, we are at about 33% of all of India's electronics exports. So that's where we're going. So we are reaching for the skies in every sector that we have managed. And I think R&D, when I'm looking at R&D in electronics, R&D in textiles, R&D in automotives is the first thing that I'll choose, because I am the king of automotive components and auto manufacturing. R&D requires a lot of hand-holding. And I think as a state, and I've said this on several stages, R&D needs to be backed by a big funding by the union and the state. People should know that it's okay to fail, right? R&D research is all about failure, and then success, right? It takes so many steps, but once one person, a mind, goes into R&D research, it takes at least a decade for something really big to come out, right? So for a youngster to come out of college full of ideas and then come to our research, and he needs that backing of that one person or entity which I would see as the government of India or the government of Tamil Nadu. And I think that saying that it's okay to fail, go there, do this, try it, and do this for the country. And I think that is something which all of India has not done yet. If there's a little bit of help from the union, I think the government of Tamil Nadu will definitely try and step in. We have already brought in a lot of labs. We have brought in a lot of testing facilities. We're giving it out to students from across the state, many colleges using top-notch softwares from across the world. We've done that, but it needs more. But I think R&D is the way forward. I've been saying this, it's product nation. Product nation TN is what we are all pushing for. Enough of servicing for everybody else, enough of manufacturing for everybody else. Let's make our own product. Let's make our own car. Let's make our own aircraft also. It's possible. We're doing it for the world. Why not for ourselves? And I think that is definitely coming. I was very happy to see through Ashwini Vaishnav, take it from me. I spoke about this in one of the events, and I think a few days later he also spoke about that elsewhere. So that's a good thing, when you take it from a state and say, yes, this is the right idea. And I think that's a good thing when the union and the state come together on an idea. And I think Product Nation TN, Product Nation is the way forward.
No, that's absolutely fantastic to hear that. And I think clearly, as you said, enough of servicing, enough of making for someone else, enough of making to someone else's specification. We need to create our own IPs, innovate on our own.
Yeah, and I also told the team in Davos. For us to make our own products, I think we should start writing our own policy. See, everything starts from policy, right? We've been given policy from outside India, and we've been asked to go this way, and I think that's wrong. India is in one trajectory. We are at one level now to say that no, we will write our own policy, and we will take inputs, yes, but we will write policy for our own self, and not just take policy which is like global. And I think India needs localized policy also, and in writing policy, it starts from there. Your R&D, your product starts from policy.
And you made a very interesting point that, generally we shouldn't be risk averse, because that's how you kind of do the major breakthroughs, not worrying about failure. Very interesting point. But how could, let's say, either the center or the state governments support these kind of, let's say, young, budding technocrats, entrepreneurs?
Well, let's see, when you have amazing institutions like IIT Madras here, Anna University, all these institutions in Kovai, look at Banari, Kumaraguru, PSG, these are amazing institutions. When let alone give them a little bit of funding and they'll just do work their magic, and I'm sure we'll have good, amazing products very soon. But the thing is, we're not incentivizing them enough to do that, and I think once you do that and tell the kids that it's okay, as I said, it's okay to fail, go ahead, and I know that I trust you. And I think that backing of saying that I trust you matters, and I think once that's done, we'll see amazing products.
Fantastic. Sir, I'd just like to move, we can't not talk about EVs, but again, this is an area you've really focused on. It's a leading EV manufacturing state, especially you take the two-wheeler side. What are the specific factors that have contributed, to this leadership? As an EV, especially on the two-wheeler side.
Okay. I think we took the call early. In fact, I was the first one to talk about the need for an EV policy in 2016. Unfortunately, we weren't in power then, so I was in the opposition. I spoke about the EV policy, but then the opposition spoke about e-way bills. So it's a completely different story. We cracked up. The then CM also said he's talking about EV policy. And he said, okay. And then we should have brought it out at least in 2016, but we didn't do that. In 17, Karnataka came up with their policy. I think we got it done only in 19. I think we lost out a few years. But then the pace of governance in Tamil Nadu, that is unmatched. The pace of governance in Tamil Nadu, once we decide to do one thing, I think the way the administrators and the lawmakers come together and work on that one singular goal, that has worked in favor of what we are here at today in the EV sector. 70% of all the EV two-wheelers sold in India manufactured in this one state. That tells you the story, right? 70% of all the two-wheelers manufactured, sold in India, manufactured in Tamil Nadu. So when you hit such numbers, you know that you're doing something right, and the rest of the world also knows that these guys are doing something right, and the rest, there's something wrong there. So we get everyone coming in, look at Ola, Ather, and looking at companies that are coming up and trusting them and giving them land, giving them support at the right time and taking quick decisions, and cutting across party lines. This has happened. I'm saying some of these investments have come through from the previous regime. But that has happened because there is policy continuity in Tamil Nadu. That is our biggest strength. Cutting across regimes, the policy that the state takes, it stays. The industry that comes into Tamil Nadu is safe because, I'm not going to tell, so once you bring in an investment, the next regime is not going to come and say, no, you came with them, so we're not going to help you. That's never ever happened in this state. That's one of our biggest strengths. So policy continuity, quick decision making, and understanding the tech, understanding manufacturing, understanding what the client says. That is crucial, right? You go to a lawmaker, you go to an administrator, and when he understands that understand what a powertrain itself is and what it takes to manufacture a drive shaft, or is it a full drive shaft or a half shaft, stuff like that. And when you tell them that you need this for a battery manufacturer, you know that you need to understand how they're going to dispose of the refuse, right? So these things, when the administrator and the lawmaker both can understand the need of such policy, the need for you to help them, and also understand where this manufacturing is going to head and what kind of jobs it's going to create. So for us in Tamil Nadu, it's all about jobs, right? It's never ever about investment. It's never ever about investment numbers. It's about jobs and where they are created. So when we know that this manufacturer is going to come and he's going to put up this factory and he's going to give such and such jobs for these guys who are coming out of these colleges, 150,000 engineers every single year from Tamil Nadu. So we're looking at that, the job market, the kind of area locales that these manufacturers are going to go to, and the kind of economic development that's going to happen in that area. So it's all about distributed growth, inclusive growth, and looking at jobs for everyone. This is what Tamil Nadu is about, and I think we took the call right time, and that's why we are here as number one in both four-wheelers and two-wheelers.
Dr. Rajaa, you spoke about speed, and I think how fast you all move in this state to get, to get projects underway. And I think that's exemplified by VinFast. So I just want to know the VinFast story. Firstly, how did they come here? And they seem to be building their factory at absolutely top speed.
I mean, VinFast is, it's quite actually very, very weird, but it started off with a LinkedIn post.
Really?
Yeah. It basically started out with somebody reaching out to me via LinkedIn. Can you imagine? And then we were all talking about it. Guidance takes a fantastic effort in reaching out to every single manufacturer all over the globe. And they've been talking and stuff. But somehow there is always some little gap, right? So it was one single message on LinkedIn. It's still there, so it's real. So and then they reached out, and then we started talking over a month. And then the usual thing happened from Delhi. So they were taken somewhere else. We got to know that, and I told my chief minister that this is not going to happen, maybe, and it seems like it's going somewhere else. He said, "Why aren't you going there?" I said, "It's sort of decided, so you think I should go?" He said, "No, why don't you go and try?" So we decided, and I think in 2 days we just decided. I took the flight. I spent 3 days there. I spent 2 days with the chairman there, and there were at least 1,000 calls between Vietnam and Chennai, and amazing people like Arun Roy here and the FS and everybody. We kept talking. The entire package was decided from there. We started talking, and I also got to know the chairman very well. And after that, it was going to go somewhere else, and it's come to Tamil Nadu. And this after a meter of rain. This after Thoothukudi was hit by a meter of rain, not by a millimeter, few millimeters, not by centimeters. Thoothukudi and the areas around Tirunelveli and Tenkasi were hit by a meter of rain. Thoothukudi got flooded. They saw all this, but I could tell them that this is nature and this is global warming, and this is why you're going towards EVs, and this is why you're going to come and invest into the greenest state possible in India, the state which has over 50% of green energy and going up towards 70% of green energy. So when you come into manufacturing in Tamil Nadu, this is what you get, and you're going to come to one of the best ports in Tamil Nadu, Thoothukudi. So I explained all this, two days. We sort of closed that. Just the day before I arrived there, another big, large state had come there and sort of closed it. But I got there in time, I think. But when we came back, none of them trusted us.
Really?
I mean, wind farms is not going to happen. It's just something that these guys are doing for the global investors meet and stuff. But then we announced 16,000 crores and several thousand jobs. Nobody trusted us, but we're going to open in just 3 or 4 months, and VinFast is going to roll out from Tamil Nadu. So, that's the story. That's the speed of Tamil Nadu.
And they're constructing their factory pretty fast, I believe. So obviously, it's been an environment they can really get projects up and going quite quickly.
So we signed in Jan. Feb we broke ground, and in a next few months, this is in 24. In 25, we are opening the factory. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's never been done anywhere else in the world.
Fantastic. I remember it's when Hyundai came to Tamil Nadu way back in 98, I think. Similar speed also, obviously. So I think speed is something which is quite intrinsic with the state. Maybe it's to do with all the circuits in the state. People go very fast. And I remember with you when we were driving in I think it was a Nissan plant, you also driving at a pretty good clip around the track. Yeah.
And he had to check me every time. He said, no, ease up. And he said, keep both hands on the wheels.
Yeah,
so he taught me to drive.
Great.
Properly.
No, and talking about driving, and what this leads me to is a technology that is emerging, a technology from a safety standpoint is becoming quite critical, which is ADAS, autonomous driving assisted system. So, I mean, is the state looking at this specific technology in any particular way, or is it just part of the broader R&D push that you're looking at?
I think ADAS coming into India it's going to take a long time. We'll have to take care of our cows first, unless Delhi feels bad. So I think tech is something which comes naturally for Tamil Nadu. And we've already started working on that. In fact, I can tell you we've already working on something for the defense, for DRDO also. On ADAS, there's something else happening. We can't go into details. And for the automotive manufacturing sector itself, ADAS looks like the way forward. I mean, it's going to happen. Driverless cars are the thing in the future. And I think Tamil Nadu should actually... as I said, this should also be part of our Product Nation dream. So going forward, we should have our own ADAS. We should have our own capability to tweak it. And for our own roads, I think we need a different tech completely. And I think, yes, we are already doing it. And we're talking about
No, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of the OEMs here have kind of tweaked the ADAS for Indian conditions. I mean, one of them is the way people cut in left and right, and I think sensors have to be deployed, I think, everywhere, I think, for it to work effectively. But I think, I think it's important because I think safety also is a pretty important consideration going forward because, I mean, maximum number of road deaths are in India and the world. We have that kind of black spot in that sense.
Road safety, talking about road safety, we're doing something with Tata very soon in Tamil Nadu also. And research on that side has been consistent in Tamil Nadu. I think all our manufacturers are very keen on that. And whatever help that the Tamil Nadu government can do, we are definitely keen in helping them out because passenger safety and pedestrian safety is very, very crucial for the state. And I think we are already helping them enough. Whatever they need, we'll definitely step in, yes.
Right. And, we are running out of time, but it's been a fantastic discussion, very free-flowing from the heart. I think it's been really very, very enriching. But, I just want your final thoughts and vision on, clearly, as we started off by talking about balancing an ICE legacy and, of course, looking at an EV ecosystem going forward. Clearly, both have to be done in tandem. For a lot of manufacturers, it's quite difficult because it requires huge resource to invest in both technologies. So I think that's the challenge they face. But just from a state point of view, I think it's quite, you're in this unique position. You've got a very, very strong ICE legacy, and you've really pushed as you said, you're number one in the EV space as well, as far as manufacturing goes. So, it's just balancing this. How do you see the way forward and your kind of vision for, let's say, the next 10 years?
We had this discussion, and this line came through, and I think this is the best way to put it. Tamil Nadu has always been rooted in metal, and I think we've been rising in code. So when you're rooted in metal and you're rising in code, you're basically playing both games properly, and I think we've striking the balance, and that's why we will trust the trusted ICE for the longest time possible. There's also a bit of a social justice angle to that. But that's a larger topic. So staying rooted in ICE and staying trusted in the trusted partner for some time, and then also looking at the new age tech coming out of EVs and the possibilities that the talent in Tamil Nadu can bring for the EV manufacturing sector is huge. So we are invested on both, especially because of the international markets over the last 2-3 years. But that said, I think EV is the future, and we are going that way. This government is betting on EVs, and so is most of India. But then you'll need to look at more of charging infra, and looking at the circular economy and loads to help. And of course, we've been talking about scrapping policy for a long time. It's still yet to come. And I think the scrapping policy is something which is needed for every EV sector to get a big boost. So all this will happen when the global trends are set, when the Indian manufacturer is comfortable, and more so when the customer is comfortable with picking an EV car. Till today, I think range anxiety is something which is stopping the customer to just jump in to an EV car. But I think once you sit on it and the talk hits you, I think that's when you say, "Whoa, this is it." So I think all the EV manufacturers should probably try a 1 month free package or something for everybody to try a EV car. I think once you try an EV car, you're hooked on. But that said, again, the government also needs to do enough for charging infra and the rest of the story. I think, yes, we're playing a very good, balanced game in Tamil Nadu.
Right. Thank you, Minister Sir. It's been absolutely fascinating for this conversation. And really, I think what we love really is your passion above everything else. The way you've kind of spelt out your vision for mobility in Tamil Nadu. Clearly, I think ICE and EVs going hand in hand. I think you've said that really sets the tone for what this conclave is about. And really, thanks very much. And thanks, ladies and gentlemen in the audience also for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajaa.